Many of you had questions after my last video. How exactly did my net worth increase by 94,000 in just 3 months? So in today's video, I'm going to break down exactly where that 94k came from across 4 income streams and what it actually took to get here. And if you're thinking of doing something similar, I hope this gives you a more realistic picture of what it actually takes. Without further ado, let's dive right in. Let's go. Before I break down the income streams, I think it's important to share this here because when people hear $94,000 in 3 months, it sounds very fast, and it is. But for me, it actually took a few years to build the income to what it is today. And there's one thing that actually made all of this possible, it's saving. Because no matter how much your income increases, if you don't know how to keep your money, at the end of the day, it doesn't really change your situation at all. I posted my first YouTube video in April 2022, and at that time, I wasn't making any money from it. I was just posting, figuring things out, and honestly, I didn't even know if this would become anything. One thing about YouTube is that it has a clear monetization program. You need to hit 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours before you start earning from your videos. And that became my first goal. At that time, I was still working a full-time corporate job, clocking in 9 to 6 every day, sometimes even longer. And weekends were split between family, church, and trying to create content. I still remember my first corporate job in the first year or so. I was working 5.5 days a week. So technically, I only have 1.5 days of a weekend to enjoy my time. I filmed one video and then spent the rest of the week editing it after work. And this went on for about 8 months before I finally got into the YouTube partner program. And when the money started coming in, it was about $2 to $5 a day. Honestly, it meant a lot to me because I was thinking, okay, that's one meal covered. Even up to this day, I cover my grocery costs, a meal out here in Korea or back in Singapore. It's small, but it felt very real. And that's where the first income stream started. How much you earn here really depends on 2 things, your niche and your views. In my case, I'm in finance, so it tends to pay slightly more as compared to those travel content channels. Nowadays, when I don't post, right now it's about $20 to $40. And when I upload a new video, it spikes for a day. I'll show you the screenshot transparently on screen right now. These days, it averages about $1,000 to $1,200 a month. But to be honest, I don't focus on this income stream a lot. Instead, my main idea or goal for this YouTube channel is that I'll post once a week consistently. Can I increase this income stream by posting more? Definitely. If I post 3 videos a week, this number will definitely go up. But I've realized something about myself. Posting once a week allows me to enjoy the entire process of uploading a YouTube video. For the past few years, aside from a short period of time where I got my brother to help me with editing, I've been doing everything myself. From content ideas, scripting, filming, editing, thumbnails, and all the way up to uploading. And yes, I could hire people and scale this up, but that is not my goal. I actually enjoy making these videos, and I know that if I start increasing output just to chase the income, I probably will burn out and not enjoy the process of it. So I never want to go there. Right now, to me, I think this is more than enough. I really enjoy doing this kind of videos once a week. So for Q1 of 2026, it brought in a total of $3,879 after US taxes. And this is in Singapore dollars. After deducting US taxes, I still have to pay for corporate tax in Singapore as well. So the first income stream is Google AdSense revenue. And the second income stream I started exploring was affiliates or referrals. Let's go into that. This was something I set up quite early on, even when I was still a small creator. As long as you're sharing something useful and people trust what you're saying, it can work. I started by sharing tools and platforms that I was already using, things like investment platforms, credit cards, multi-currency cards, anything that was a part of my own personal finance journey. And I would leave those referral links down in the description box below. You guys know how it works, or mention them in the video. At the start, the income was very small. Some months, nothing at all. Some months, maybe a few $100s. But over time, as my content reached more people, as this channel started growing, this has become one of my main income streams. I think the most important thing I've learned here is affiliate income only really works when there is trust, because people are essentially taking action based on what you are recommending. And that's why you often only hear me talk about the same few tools and brands. And I think this is why this income stream was able to grow over time. I don't just take on any kinds of partnership. I genuinely use them for myself, and that's when I share it. One example is Wise. This video that was done in October 2023 was not a paid partnership. I didn't reach out to them to get a referral link or to get them to sponsor a video at that point in time. Instead, I started sharing using the referral link that all users of Wise would have in the app. It's a platform that I use to send, spend, convert money across currencies at mid-market exchange rates, which means that there are no hidden markups. Over time, as I was traveling, whether it's Thailand, day trips to JB, Japan, or even spending a few months here in Korea, I use Wise quite a bit. When I pay my rent to Jeju auntie, I pay her in cash and I use Wise to withdraw, or when I spend at the local markets and they only accept cash. Compared to going down to a physical money changer in Singapore, the rates are actually quite similar, sometimes even better, and I save the time of having to make the trip down to a physical money changer. But beyond personal use, this has become really useful for my work as a creator. Some of my partnerships pay out in USD, and using Wise gives me a local USD account details to receive those payments. So instead of using a Singapore-based bank account and dealing with those incoming fees or extra charges and not too great of an exchange rate, the process became a lot simpler and a lot more cost efficient as well. For example, in March, I had a few invoices as shown on screen paying out in USD. By providing my Wise USD account details, I was able to receive the full amount without deductions since ACH transfers are free. After receiving those funds, I didn't convert it back to Singapore dollars because technically I don't need the money right now. Instead, I invested in money market funds within Wise so it continues earning a small amount of returns until the time when I need the cash. And also because USD money market funds earns a little bit higher than the SGD denominated ones. But this at the end of the day is an investment, and I know that returns are not guaranteed, capital is also not guaranteed. But it's a simple way for me to make my idle cash work a bit harder. I've mentioned a lot about money market funds on my channel before. If you're ever dealing with multiple currencies, whether it's for personal use, when you travel, or for work, or you're digital nomading, make sure to use Wise to get better exchange rates with transparent fees. This time, I've partnered with Wise, and if you use the sign up link down in the description box below, you'll get your first fee-free transfer of up to 900 Singapore dollars or your debit card for free. So for Q1 of 2026, affiliate income brought in about $70,000 for me. And now let's move on to the third income stream. Let's go. The third income stream is brand partnerships. From what I've seen, this is where a lot of creators all around the world, not just in Singapore, tend to make the most money. But personally, I prefer affiliate income, referrals. It feels a lot more organic because I'm just sharing things that I'm personally using. If you found it useful, you sign up, I get a little bit of a kickback from the brand. That to me has always been the way I prefer building my income streams. You guys will know whenever I cover in Money Diaries, I do share this as well. Whereas for sponsored videos, the entire process is a lot more tedious. There's a lot of back and forth on scripts, revisions, drafts between the brand and you, and sometimes there'll be a delay, not just in uploading but payments as well. You usually have to chase it, and instead of earning per referral, you're paid for the entire video itself or a segment within the longer video. And yes, usually this pays more because it's in a lump sum, but it also depends a lot on your audience size and how the brand values your content. So for me, I actually keep this quite simple. I work with brands that I already am using. If it's something new in the market that I've not tried it myself and a brand do reach out to me, it'll take me a while, which is why I think you guys don't always see the most up-to-date review or coverage on a certain product that's new in the market. So that has always been my style. It'll take me a while to actually use it and see if I can actually incorporate it myself, find it useful. If it's beneficial, then I'll share it with you guys. For Q1 of 2026, brand partnerships for me brought in about $26,000. So if we add the three income streams together thus far, it comes up to just under $100,000. Brand partnerships didn't start early on because as a small creator, it's a little bit harder to work with brands, but as you grow, naturally they will start reaching out, and you can also reach out and pitch yourself to the brands. So that is how this works. Last but not the least is the fourth income stream, and that is digital products. For me, this is the finance tracker that I've built on Notion, which I share my template on my Stand store. This actually came out from my own need. Previously, before moving on to Notion, this tracker that I've built, I was using Google Sheets and also Wallet by Budget Pickers. I wanted something that was in one place, but there was no available app or tool that can actually support what I need. So then I thought, let's just create this. So I built something that brings everything together. When I record my income, my expenses, it automatically reflects across all my accounts. And I mean all my accounts: banks, CPF, cash, credit cards, all of it. Which means whenever I want to check my financial health, I don't have to open up multiple apps, tabulate everything together, or spend time figuring out where my money is. I just open Notion and I can see my entire net worth, assets, liabilities, and even my monthly budgets in one place. And this ties back to what I mentioned earlier, saving money, because once I open this tracker, I can immediately see my savings rate for the month, which is income minus my expenses taskbar. And that alone changes how I make decisions. On top of that, I've connected it to the Apple shortcut. This was coded by my brother. So double tapping the back of my iPhone whenever I'm out and about records an expense easily for me. Or I can actually use the shortcut button over here to record an expense as well. It saves me a lot of time because previously I used to have to think back what I spend on. Sometimes I do miss out a transaction here and there and I just can't reconcile the transactions. But after having this Apple shortcut, it has made everything so seamless. I've actually shared it with you guys, and those of you who want a template to start out on, it's available on my Stand store. Any updates that I've made to the tracker and moving forward as well will be free for you guys who have purchased it before. And towards the end of last year, I also launched my Life and Money Journal. It's a subscriber only place where I share a deeper look into my life. Not just money, but the actual journey behind it. From a point in my life where I genuinely didn't see meaning in anything to where I am today, learning to enjoy the simple things again, and how money, when managed well, can actually give you that space and freedom to get there. Right now, there are about 40 plus entries broken down into 6 different chapters. I created it for anyone who wanted a bit more guidance across the different areas of life, not just investing. So for example, in the money management chapter, I go through everything that I personally do with my money before even thinking about investing. Things like how I structure my cash, how I think about savings, and the systems I rely on. And a lot of this actually came from the time when I wasn't earning a lot. Back when I was at my corporate job, I took home about $2,000 to $3,000 a month. So I had to be intentional with how I was managing my money. And a lot of it really came down to the habits and system that I still use today. And then in the investing chapter, I share how I figured out what kind of investments actually work for me, the journey, the mistakes, the real numbers, and also some questions that you can ask yourself to figure out what actually works for you. More than just talking about the money stuff, there's actually also a chapter sharing about my life and career journey, covering the days when I just didn't want to move on in life, that depressive phase, and how I got out of it. It's a really sensitive chapter, but I wanted to share it for those who are actually going through the same and want to hear a different perspective. This is really just a season, and I'm so glad that I've gone through that, because I wouldn't be who I am today without that chapter in my life as well. So I did share in a video, not the full details, but you can refer to that, what happened then at that point in time. But anyway, digital products for Q1 of 2026 brought in about $12,000. So across these 4 income streams, that was how I was able to save $94,000 in 3 months. But if there's one thing I hope you take away from today's video, is that it wasn't just about earning more money. Yes, that is important, but back when I was still earning $2,000 to $3,000 a month, I was already building that habit of saving money and learning how to manage my money. And I think that is the foundation that helps you to build wealth over the long term. The numbers look a lot different right now, but the way I think about money and how I manage it hasn't really changed. It's not about how much you earn, it's how much you're able to keep and what you eventually do with that amount of money. So if you're at the start of your journey, don't feel like you need to rush into increasing your income. Focus on building the right habits first, because when income does come, you'll actually be able to keep more of it. And over time, that's what really allows your net worth to grow. So that's all I have for today's video. I hope it was helpful one way or another. If you have any comments or feedback, let me know down in the comment section below. And I hope you enjoyed today's video. I'll catch you guys in my next one. And as always, have a great week ahead. Bye bye.